Constitution of the United States of America. By some, he's been called controversial.
How can I convince you when your ears refuse to hear? You turn your heart away from me each time that I draw near. Your eyes refuse to meet with mine, they glance away in fear. And
keep in mind that some of my guests have been approached by Homeland Security or FBI saying, why are you going on the Clay Douglas show?
My message to those guys, if they're listening this morning, is go get a cup of coffee. Maybe you'll learn something.
We both took the same oath, to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I don't recall there being an expiration date on that.
so well it doesn't show. How can I contain this anguish and this pain, knowing that you're right, blinded by the lies?
He is the free American, Clay Douglas. Catch the Free American weekdays at 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern.
Every time I think about the damage that's been done, the anger wells inside me till I'm almost overcome. I want to tear the moon out of the sky and drop the sun. Why do I feel so all like I'm the only one?
For the podcast and more details, visit www.freeamerican.com or catch the podcast by phone by calling 832-999-8621.
You sold me for the darkness of divine eternity, like petty thieves who plunder in the shadows of the night. They break inside and enter through the windows of your mind. How can I?
And we all Friday nights, Finley Graham on Saturday, right before the morning light. Came a time I was opened up and I learned about the gun. And every night at supper time I answered what I'd done. Today wasn't got about the way it used to be. They got no respect and no cold steel, just games on TV. A burning hell before I sell might rise away from me. It's high time we embrace the tool that keeps all men free.
When Revolution Radio business is rising across this great United States, and that means straight from the heart of Texas, it is time for Clayton Douglas, the Free American. Take it away, Clayton.
All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Free American Hour. VK Durham is my guest today. I call her Grandma. You may call her Ms. Durham. She is the controller and of the Durham Trust. And VK, just a few minutes here, I want to get a clear understanding of what this trust is that we talk about. And you sent me an article last night that I think is in line with what I want to talk to you about. The J.P. Morgan, the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, told Mr. Jamie Dimon of J.P. Morgan that they were losing patience with J.P. Morgan. And what this is over, billions of dollars in mortgages that they sold to Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, some of these other authorities. And it's
they've already been found guilty of doing something wrong here, because they will pay a civil penalty of $285 million to the Treasury Department. They'll also toss in $125 million in unjust profits, the regulators said. And they got to make annual reports to their commission for 3 years. This is kind of a small chunk out of the $6.5 billion in quarterly profits for J.P. Morgan, which is just one of the controllers of the Federal Reserve. Or isn't J.P. Morgan one of the stockholders in the Federal Reserve, this private banking system that we got raping this country, raking us over the coals?
I've been watching this thing, I can't watch it now, for many, many years. And what I'm surprised that they're taking it so low, that when they're in these fines, when actually the J.P. Morgan has been dealing in gold, and you know what the price of gold is, but they're charging them Federal Reserve costs of fiat money, which is virtually less than 10 cents on the dollar, as in their fines. Now, I think this is grossly out of proportion, and you find that J.P. Morgan has been guilty of so many frauds in 17 banks. I think the total is 17 in this country that have been literally raping this country.
Grandma, you need to move your microphone, please. Okay, now it's better. Okay, I was just getting a roaring. It was almost drowning out your voice. Okay, go ahead now, dear. This well, the Federal Reserve.
I suspicion that all that interference was from all the solar activity, because it's getting pretty rough out there. I don't think it's our computers at all, Clay. I think it's solar activity, and I think we're getting ready to get some surprises. So let's get back to J.P. Morgan.
All right, back to
J.P.
Morgan.
Your next question was?
$6.5 billion in quarterly profits. Aren't they? They're part of the Federal Reserve. They own part of the Federal Reserve. They certainly.
What is 10 cents on the dollar of 6.5 trillion?
But this story here about J.P. Morgan, some federal investigative units here that maybe are not on the payroll of this Federal Reserve fraud. We got a Federal Reserve fraud here, and they have ripped off billions of dollars. Now, according to the little information that I got about Iceland, what Iceland did, they arrested the bankers and they bailed out the people. Why can't we do that here?
Well, I don't know.
They've already been found guilty. I mean,
we paid off. This trust paid off. You asked me a question.
Go ahead, dear.
And I'm
Go
going
ahead.
to answer it.
Go ahead.
If you will allow me. In 2003, this trust paid off the American Continental debt, the U.S. debt, through a gold swap debt conversion. And so, and we did it in gold. That was $6.5 trillion that J.P. Morgan ran away with. It's never shown up on the Treasury book. It's never, but It has shown when you see all, they've taken all throughout Europe and taken everything they could take hostage through predatory banking. They embezzled that when it was to clean up the books and start us out clean. It was to relieve the Federal Reserve as the payor of the United States debts. It was to make this trust responsible for the payment, and we would keep the people in the proper position as the owners of this nation, not the corporations. We paid for the infrastructure to be restored. That's never been restored. That's never been restored or given back to the trust, so we can return it to the people. J.P. Morgan has run away with the life of this nation. His little group of billionaire boys that have operated just stealing and raping and terrorizing the entire world through predatory banking. They've murdered the leaders who we as a nation enjoyed international good standing. For many, many years, they were our allies. This J.P. Morgan conglomerate has caused those individuals to be murdered. And they did it through acts of the president. Okay, who wanted to be king. Well, you know, I have looked at this thing for many, many years. This trust was set up in such a fashion that nobody can use this collateral from this trust unless they took an oath to the Constitution of the United States. Each individual, each treasurer, each state, each nation they would take an oath to the Constitution. They'd all have their trade agreements back in place. Those 7 articles of that Constitution are actually the laws of trade and commerce. And it's to keep it free of such as J.P. Morgan. And that's why we had our Declaration of Independence. And that's why we have a Constitution. And that's why we have a Bill of Rights. But everybody is so anti-Constitution now because they are so dumbed down they don't know their butts from a hole in the ground when it comes to what that instrument really is. Now, I used to contract book. And that is the most near perfect instrument I have ever seen. And that's why this trust is set up, to reestablish that Constitution. Now, J.P. Morgan tried to use the collateral from this trust. Can't do it. Can't do it. There's no way they can do it. They tried to claim in December that after we paid the debt in May 2003, in 2004, J.P. Morgan tried to incorporate our instruments as if they own them. And they want the world to believe that they own them. No, they don't own them. This trust owns them.
But let me stop you for just a second, dear. Let me stop you here. Is J.P. Morgan or the Federal Reserve operating off of your trust right now fraudulently?
Yes. I believe they are.
Okay.
Well, if you look,
let me call you. Let me.
And search. You asked me a question.
Okay.
Please let me answer. Please let me answer.
I'm trying to, dear.
In 1994, Bank of America was about to go into receivership. Bank of America, Citigroup, and that group up in Chicago, the LaSalle Banking Group, they all belong to that little club. There was a club that was set forth in that Treaties and International Agreement sections that nobody's ever bothered to read, where only the persons or nations that had bought into that could deal in monetary markets, nationally or internationally. If you didn't belong to that, you couldn't do business anywhere. And that's how they did this. And that's why they destroyed the World Trade Center. One of the reasons was to get rid of that Treaties and International Agreement sections, because that hurt their One World Trade Center. But what One World Trade Center was also the money launderers, which was going through, it was going through the Texas arm of the Israel Financial Group and Moshe Israel, which put out those 1991 instruments, those two 120s that collapsed the bank. Well, here's what we're looking at now. In 1994, we had Bank of America going down the tubes. We had all these banks. Mexico was going down the tubes. They were all going down the tubes. Then in 2000, Bank One was going down the tubes. Well, I offered to underwrite Bank One. Well, guess who was the chairman of the board of Bank One? Jamie Dimon, who just moved over from Citigroup to Bank One for the LaSalle board. Well, that started the little Bank of America and all the money laundering. And there's so much that's gone on here that I don't think those idiots in Washington will ever figure it out.
All right, dear, I need you to move your microphone a little bit. Your microphone. I'm getting a tremendous echo here. Let me call you right back. Richard, would you hang up on her and let me call you right back on Skype, BK, okay? I've just got too much of a noise here. Can you bring her back up?
Yeah, hang on. I don't think it's going to help, but yeah, just hang on.
Why is it doing that? I mean, it's just roaring. I mean, it wasn't doing that when we were just talking before.
Well, she might have a fan on or something in the background. I'm not sure, but it's picking up a bunch of noise somewhere.
Okay, is that better?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's not roaring. Or whatever it is, air conditioner, could be something like that in the background. It was just overpowering you. All right.
There's nothing on it. There's nothing on in here.
Okay,
nothing.
well.
Absolutely nothing.
You sound fine right now, dear. You sound fine right now. Back to this whole. All these banks that you're mentioning are part of the network of the Federal Reserve. This is, in my opinion, this is a criminal organization. It's in violation of our Constitution. And your trust, they've obviously been trying to get it. They've been trying to set you up. They've been trying to silence your voice. They even sued me and you to try to prevent us this information to get out. And what I am thinking here is that if everything that we're doing, and all I want to do is restore the Constitution, according to the Bill of Rights, just as you do, and we pulled up different ways to do this. This labor-based monetary system called Ithaca hours. I want to get your opinion on those. Will those work? They do work in certain communities. They've been doing it in Ithaca, New York for 22 years, and they do quite well, thank you. And if we, what I want to do is restore the self-sufficiency of Americans, and I'm doing that with my Liberty Village project. What about combining the whole Liberty Village project? What about combining the idea if you can make a solar panel for $50 and put it on your neighbor's house, you ought to be able to recoup your investment pretty quickly. And in my opinion here, for thousands of years, that system's worked just fine. Now we just got to add a little bit of electronics to our repertoire, grow our own food, generate our own energy from everything God gave us. Is there something wrong with that plan? This is what I want to initiate, and what I'm seeing here is that if we initiate that, I intend to do it as a co-op to involve a lot of people, and everybody that supports the co-op, everybody that's in the co-op, benefits off the 10% that the co-op charges to put people together. Now, I don't see where your plan and your...
I think we ought to start out with...
Okay.
I think that's a good idea. I think it's a good idea, but we need to start up credit unions for everywhere in this country. Circumvent these damn banks, tell them girls get shut off.
We have credit unions around. All we got to do is come up with a program and talk to them about it.
Okay, well then I think we should do that. I think you have a good idea there. Americans, back in the 1600s, Americans couldn't make their own weapons, they couldn't make their own fabrics, they couldn't make their own tools, their own hardware. They couldn't make a dang thing. It all had to be imported. Well, we're right there now. We've been there for quite some time. We can thank Bill Clinton and George Bush.
The roaring's back here, Grandma.
Bill Clinton bankrupt.
Okay, now it's gone. Whatever you did, it's gone now. Go ahead. It's working, dear.
Bill Clinton bankrupted Detroit when he was down in Arkansas and offered all of that tax write-off, and they built them all new auto manufacturing down there. If they would move from Detroit down to Arkansas. Well, now what's in Arkansas? You got nothing but Japanese and Koreans down there now. They put the American auto industry out. The American industry moved down there, and then they very efficiently cut the butt. And that's what you get when you get communists and these little fascists in the offices of these corporations who control the White House. And then the White House begins to think we've got kings and queens, and then the State Department thinks they are kings and queens, and you've got nothing but trouble. You have nothing to do when George Bush sold off the infrastructure to all of these private corporations and countries. That's why this trust paid that debt, was to get all of that back. To get it back to the American people so the American people could do exactly what you're talking about. Free enterprise, but for Americans.
The roaring's back, Grandma. The roaring's back. And I don't know what you do. You just stopped it. You just stopped it.
It's the solar acting up. It's the solar effect.
You must have something else on. They said at the break, if you could turn off whatever.
That's right, I don't have a darn thing on.
Okay, dear. Well, we're trying to.
I don't have a darn thing on.
All right. You're working fine. You're working.
No coffee pot's on. The only thing that's on in here.
You're working fine right now. I'm telling you, as we talk, this roaring builds up to where I can't hear you. So I'm not fussing at you. I'm not trying to. I'm just telling you that we have a problem. It's okay right now. It's okay right now. We don't know what it is. We're just trying to figure it out, dear.
I think
Now,
it's solar flare.
well, if it was a solar effect, it would be everyone, and we only got it on your end, on your communication. This could be Department of Homeland Security. What you are talking about right now is top-level secrecy within the whole National Security Union, our association, the NSA. And they're scared to death somebody's going to bring their system down, their banking system down, because this is who's paying all the cops. This is who's paying all the legislators off. And they're doing it at the expense of the American people. Now, I think that just with the evidence that have come across my computer here, that I've got enough to indict and prosecute and convict a whole slew of bankers and congressmen that are not honoring their oath to the Constitution. But
what we need to look at it are those non-governmental corporations that are actually running the White House. And those non-governmental corporations such as the Federal Reserve, Jamie Dimon, J.P. Morgan Chase, and those 17 banks, including Wall Street, are exactly what's running the White House and creating all this problem.
Yes, ma'am.
Corporate America has to be dealt with.
Yes, ma'am. You are absolutely correct.
It's going to be dealt with.
But I don't. Now what I'm trying to make a point here, dear. I'm trying to make a point here. You have the standing to file a lawsuit. We've got enough Americans out there that understand the law, that want to spout off and tell us how everybody's doing everything wrong, that there ought to be enough talent among us to file a lawsuit on your behalf, on behalf of the American people, against these people with deep pockets, including the ADL, the Southern Poverty Law, the Bank of America. We've already won in other countries, but because they control the media here, we don't know about how many bankers went to jail in Iceland, do you? We have the ability. It don't take an army.
No.
It takes 12 men, and it takes a couple to stand up and file the suit, to do the paperwork. We've got the paperwork done. This is a cut and paste operation, you know, and we can toss in there who brought down 9/11. That's all leads straight to Israel. So does all the money lead to Israel or the Bank of England. Yes, ma'am.
And it leads straight into those documents of 9/11. That they used back when we're waiting on to clear Cantor Fitzgerald, that they had written George Bush and Clinton had used on my trust. Here's what I've got to say. You know, everybody wants me to do something. You know, that trust actually belongs to the people. Why don't they get off of their dead ends and do something?
Well, that's exactly what I've said. In case you didn't hear that, Grandma said, why don't the people get off their dead ass and do something? Because there are people out there that are doing this. There are people that set up this secondary monetary system. There are people that know that these bankers, with their little double entry bookkeeping, are siphoning trillions of dollars off of the American people by their investments in the comprehensive annual financial report. They steal it from you and then they wave it in your face. They bought this corporation, and my God, you know, Thomas Jefferson told you if you ever allow a private bank to issue your money, the banks and the corporations that spring up around them will leave your children homeless in the land that we conquered. And that's exactly what's happening in America. That's exactly what it's doing. I'm saying the people need to get off the ass. The people need to provide us with the lawyers. The people need to provide us with the income so we can go down and get a damn cup of coffee or a pot of coffee. If we don't have anybody backing us, we do the show without advertising, so you need to support the station. It's all listener advertised. You need to support people like Grandma that have the knowledge, that have the experience, and that have the standing to do exactly what we're talking about. Take the bankers to court. Take it away from them. Take it back. Restore it to the American people. It's ours. It was converted. It was all done by fraud, and it's been done to you for 100 years. You must like getting screwed because you keep letting them do it to you. Now, what I'm talking about is stopping that. I'm talking about a cooperative where we start growing our own food. Now, the only things I've gotten back from that, Grandma, again, are negative shit. Negative, well, you know, Clay, the zoning won't let you do that. They won't let you, the neighborhood association won't let you put a solar panel on your roof. They won't let you put a tomato in your backyard. Are you guys crazy? What are you, radicals? Yeah, they're trying to do that. And in certain cities... Go ahead, dear.
I think that's called abuse of power.
Ah, yeah.
They do not have the right to tell people about what they can do. When they put that's exactly why they put that Bill of Rights in effect and added it to the Constitution. Because when they put those, you know, it was kind of funny when I sat there and read through all the paperwork on that from the old ink, the old original paperwork. When I read that, and someone had stolen the books because these were the original books. But when I read that,
Grandma, move your microphone around just a little bit. Okay, dear. All right, now it's back. Now I can hear you again. It just grows and grows and grows. Occasionally, if you just move the microphone and keep talking, I think that'll help.
When I originally read, and I've got the original drafting of the Constitution, and I've got what they redacted, you know, what they wanted to keep, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's only 7,500 of these books ever published, and I have one of the originals. When I read it, what they were drafting there, when they drafted those 7 articles, I had to laugh. And the reason why I had to laugh was because they're sitting there saying, okay, you guys, you're going to follow this law. This is going to be the law this country's going to live by. This is our law of the land. There's 7 articles here, and if you don't live by, we're not going to have any international trade. You can't do business. Then, you know, they sat there and they went through this, and, you know, they go and they would say, well, no, we got to sit there when we got to do something. We can't live with that. Well, they went through that period of time. Finally, they all accepted it. And finally, they turned around, and I had to laugh at this claim. They turned around, and they said, oh, my God, we forgot something. And they said, if we don't put a Bill of Rights in there, we'll be far more corrupt and our justice corrupt as the people we have just fought this Declaration of Independence to free ourselves from. And that's how the Bill of Rights got added. Well, as we sit and watch today, they are trying to do away with those Bill of Rights so they can run rampant through the people uh, property rights and their individual rights. Well, they have no right to do that because and I'll tell you what, they used this trust, didn't they? J.P. Morgan used Act 6.52, Federal Reserve used. Alan Greenspan used 80% of it to underwrite the euro. Or not 80%. I'm sorry about that. I'm scared. He underwrote the euro, 80% of the euro, using the trust money collateral out of that 1991 banking fraud. But here's what we're looking at. It would seem to be that if they had used it.
Hang on a minute, Grandma. Grandma, I'm losing you again. I am losing.
Bring everything.
Grandma, I am losing volume, and you obviously are having a hard time hearing me. Let me try to get you back on.
No, I hear you.
All right, you can hear me fine now. I can hear you now. I can hear you now. It just deteriorates in quality.
I hear you just fine.
All right, dear. We'll keep it going. I don't hear the roaring now.
We got that butthead up here on. We got that asshole up here on the hill. Excuse me, calling an asshole, because I think that's his orifice that he likes the best, other than his mouth. But anyway, we will not call any names. But they keep messing around with these computers. They've been messing around. I've had nothing but trouble with those computers. I've lost 5 computers since then. But anyway, I think you've got the right idea. It's not, but plain it is. It's up to the people.
I need what? Hold on. We just had. Okay, go ahead, Grandma.
If the people get off their dead end and realize that they can take this, we paid the debt, the $6.5 trillion, zeroed it out, did a 0-0 balance. We did a debt swap, debt conversion. Now, it's time that the people demanded everything back. It's not up to me anymore. I'm just one little old 77-year-old grandma out here. And, I'm tired of divering for freedom feeding these guys. Get off your dead ends and do something.
All right, Grandma, I'm going
about having to live off the welfare.
Grandma, I'm going to have to hang up and try to call you back. I don't know what you can do about your microphone, but we can't even get the recording on it. The sound is so bad. Let me hang up on you. Fiddle with your computer. Maybe turn it off and turn it back on.
Let me call you.
Huh?
Wait a minute. Clay.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me call you.
Okay, call me.
Okay.
All right, drop off of this one and call me, and we'll try that. I don't know. All right, folks. Grandma BK in Durham will be calling me back, and I'm going to pick this up on a different computer. Hello, Grandma. Can you hear me?
Hello. Is that better?
Well, it should be. Yes, ma'am. Let me see here. I'll switch that one and that one. All right, BK Durham, again, we're going to try it over this way, and hopefully we don't get the feedback that we did, but we should be able to hear everything here. This is, where's this one now? All right, I found my microphones. I got both of my microphones here, and I should.
Are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Certainly am. And I think I've got a good sound. I've got a good sound here. Go ahead, dear.
Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right. How's that sound on your end, Richard?
Well, I mean, not anywhere near professional broadcasting sound, but I guess you can hear it.
Okay, I've got
Are you
the.
coming? Am I coming through okay?
I think so. I think so.
I mean, it's going to cut in and out. I don't see it being really, working out, to be honest, but you can give it a shot.
All right. Just try bringing her back up again on your end, and if it don't work, we'll call it a day. Won't try for the second hour. I'll do the second hour, but
All right.
we're going to try to call you back one more time.
Let's see how it is.
Let me call you right back. We'll try one more time here. So this one's coming in all right, so maybe we can get you back up on the other one here. Let's try it. All right. Change that one for this one.
Okay.
All right. Got you back here.
Wasn't your computer's set up or nothing like that causing the issue?
What's that?
Who's?
What, Richard?
I didn't hear you.
I was just saying that it wasn't your computer's, like, your mic setup is fine right now at the moment. It's VK Durham's computer that's causing the issues here. So, anyways, go ahead.
All right, so we're cooking now. All right.
As I said, you still got me. Well, you still got me. It's up to the people. It's not up to me. I've done everything. I paid the debt, and the people sat on their dead end and let everybody keep running over. You know, it's only grown from bad to worse. Now, either they're going to live with this crap or they're not going to live with it. It's up to the people to make a decision. There's no need to have a revolution. There's just a need to have a grand jury and kick those corporate buttheads out of our lives.
Well,
And you assert the payment of the $6.5 trillion debt. You need to know why it hasn't been applied to the book, and you need to know this is what the people need to find out. And what you've got is a good idea that you could do it through credit unions across the country, and the people can get this thing going.
all right. Do you have a telephone there, Grandma? The Skype is not working. Can you call me? Can you call Richard here?
Richard, what's your phone number?
I put it in the Skype chat, but if you don't see it, that's okay. I'll give it to you right now. You got a pen handy?
Just a minute. Let me see if I can get it. I got it. Okay.
Yeah, let's try that, Grandma. This is just driving me crazy. I don't want to interrupt you when you're talking, but it's like nobody could hear you. So I think the information that you're getting out here and what we've got here is a lot of potential, I think. So.
Okay, we got her.
Well, you got me now.
All right. Great.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Much better.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And, Grandma, what I'm saying is here...
Well, the only thing that I can...
Go ahead.
The only thing I can say is you have the right perspective. You're just like the American people were back in the 1600s, and they found out they were up between the rock and the hard place with these foreign corporations, just like the American people are with these non-governmental organizations today. And so what we're going to have to do is do a comeback. We're going to have to use that 6.5 trillion, we're going to have to say, hey, the debt was paid. What the hell went on here? Show us where you cleared it off the books. Okay, it was paid. And now, what? If you can get this into the credit unions, I'll underwrite every goddamn credit union across this country. And because I'm the woman with the blue ink. The people themselves will have to get it going. And when they get it going, I'll underwrite it.
Well, it's been my experience that people just won't do that. They just won't do that. They won't get off their ass. They won't go talk to their neighbor. They won't suggest anything that might make them look radical or something like that. So they won't do that. And it's easier to believe...
Well, don't tell them the brainwash. Don't tell them they won't do it. Tell them they have to do it. They're either going to have to do it or they're going to live just like those people on Schindler's List that I watched last night. That's all there is to it.
That's what they have planned. I've told people, Grandma, I've told people.
I know it is.
I've told people that this is we're the next Palestinians. White Americans are the next Palestinians. All of the ingredients are in there. The whole racial thing, just stirring up of the race baiting again and again, and that ain't the white folks that's doing that. It's the black folks and their Jewish-run organizations that are doing that. That's what they want.
Why they're doing it. You know why they're doing it. In 1994, Hillary Clinton, and this was told to me by David Horowitz and Karen Coffey when they came to us for the underwriting for the national health care and were sent by Hillary Clinton directly from a meeting that they had attended at the White House in 1994. They needed the underwriting. Well, they came to me, and while I was sitting over there in chair, Horowitz told me, he says, well, you realize that Hillary's already been moving the Bloods and the Crips into the law enforcement so that we can start race riots, and everybody's going to think one started with that it was started by somebody else. And I said, what the hell are you talking about? And he repeated himself. And he said to Karen Coffey, he said, well, isn't that right? She agreed. And I turned around and I looked at him and I said, well, you cock son of a bitch. I said, you think you're going to come in here and get me to underwrite something that's going to create a race riots in this country if it gets out into that bitch's hands? I said, well, you can kiss my ass. So they walked in to Russell's bedroom. Karen walked over on been on the right-hand side of his bed, and Horowitz walked in over the left-hand side, and Karen says, well, you got to make her sign that. You're going to be dead very shortly, and she's going to disappear, and nobody will ever know what happened to her. Now, that was a threat. And Russell says, no, he says, fetch me the damn pistol. And I said, what for? He said, I'm going to shoot these motherfuckers. He said, they're not going to come in my house and threaten you or threaten me on the orders of the White House. I don't give a fuck who their goddamn president is. Bring me my pistol. That's exactly what Russell said. So I told Horowitz, I said, pack your bets, get the hell out of this house, don't you ever come back. I sent them down the road, pulling their luggage, and dark of night. And I will not put up with that crap, not from Hillary Clinton. I won't put up with it from Bill Clinton. I won't put up with it from George Bush. I won't put up with it from any of these bastards.
Well, my career now
They're trying to overthrow this country. I won't do it.
My career spans now pissing off 4 presidents.
Do what?
I said my career spans pissing off 4 presidents now. So, I don't give a shit who's in office either. And it's time the people took it back. This is what I am planning. And I'm not talking about me leading a charge of a million people into Washington, D.C. We won't have to do that. We've got the internet. If
you talk to people like Sheriff Mack. Sheriff Mack will tell you that when we, all of these sheriffs, when we took the oath, we took it to the Constitution. We did not take it to the President. That's where the problem is. The Congress, most of them are ex-military. Most of them took an oath to the President. They didn't take an oath to the Constitution. That's what's happening to this country.
Well, we've got 300 sheriffs.
Well, we'll just round up all the old boys over there in Congress and do an illegal act called voting it out. Well, we didn't have that proper vote on that, and it was unconstitutional to begin with.
How do you feel?
Most people still exist.
How do you feel about the viability of these Ithaca hours or the mile-high currency? They're prettier than the Federal Reserve notes, and they're working in small communities.
I don't know anything about them, but, you know, anything's better than nothing.
Well, it's certainly better than nothing.
That's the way I look at it. You gotta start somewhere.
What they're based on and what I'm talking about in this co-op is us going back to work, not for the company store, not down in that coal mine. I'm talking about getting in your garage, getting on the horn, getting on your computer, and working together in a cooperative venture, which has worked for centuries across Europe, here. Do a cooperative benefit, so if it benefits me, it benefits you. It benefits the American people.
You know, that's how this country got started.
Yes, ma'am. And also,
I think we're going to have to go back to basics.
One other thing.
I need an old adage. This would, all else fails, go back to the drawing board.
See, there could never be a romantic interest between me and Grandma. There could never be a romantic interest between me and Grandma. She won't let me talk. Even on my own son. Grandma, I want to get. I've refined in my opinions here, and this co-op. It's working in Oklahoma. They've got a food co-op that puts the farmers together with the people in the city. Once a week, the farmers come in, set up on the courthouse lawn, and distribute their goods so the people that ordered them can come pick them up. I think that's a good thing, and I'd like to see that happen in every county, especially every county with a sheriff that honors his oath to the Constitution. We got 300 of them across America now. Pick a county. Now, I'm not trying to come in and run the county. I'm not trying to do anything like that. I want you to run your county. I want you, if you're going to form a militia, I want you to do it with your sheriff. And I want the Durham Trust backing this, everything that we're doing. Everything we're doing, because what we're trying to do is
I have someone on here that's coming into the Revolution Radio saying I need to put up my language. Well, I got news for you, sweetie, because my language is used in everyday vernacular around this country. It's not just me. It's everybody.
All right, dear.
So now, if you want to get with this trust, then you better stop and pay attention and quit nitpicking.
All right, dear. Thank you for that.
I won't play games with people that are out there trying to cause problems.
Darling,
I won't do it. And you won't play games with me. Put that in your hat right now.
Grandma, we're not doing that. That's not happening
Okay,
here.
the show's been dropped. We're off air, guys. I'm going to go for now. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
I'm sorry, dear. We lost the whole thing.